Hello and welcome to the Alumni Insights BNMIT video podcast. My name is Rushi, and as an EC student, I'm really glad to have our esteemed guest today, Sushmitha, who is also from the EC background. Would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi, thanks, Rishi, for having me here. My name is Sushmitha. I am born and brought up in Bangalore. I pursued electronics and communication engineering in BNMIT between 2009 and 2013. Straight out of college, I got a job in a Taiwan test and measurement company, and I worked in the field of DSP for about a decade before I quit my job to pursue other personal goals and interests. I stay here with my husband and daughter. I guess that's the introduction about me.
Right. So she mentioned personal goals, and we've discussed about this prior, and it's about passive income. So I feel like in this day and age, us students should really learn about that. So keep watching towards the end of the video where you can find more about that. Now, we'll come down to the basic question: why electronics and why BNMIT?
So to be honest, MBBS was the first option. The second option was electronics and communication engineering. With the rank that I got, MBBS was not an option for me with a given list of colleges that I was interested in pursuing. So that left me with electronics. That was an interest to me because I was really strong in maths. Maths is more a fun for me than an effort. It just comes really naturally to me. And with all the physics that I could study in my plus 2, I got really intrigued.
Connectors and
Exactly. So I got really intrigued about electronics and wanted to know more about it. And I saw myself, kind of pursuing that in the long term.
Right.
And that's how I landed up with BNMIT and in electronics and communication engineering. And I'm really thankful that it happened.
Right. I feel like a lot of our students, or at least a part of our students, relate to the fact that you chose the NEET line and then you ended up on the engineering side of things. But there's no need to worry because you have to realize another fact. She wasn't sure of DSP as her career even when she joined electronics. It was more about the mathematics-oriented path. And would you like to mention how DSP is digital signal processing? It's all about analog and digital signals. So would you like to mention how you got towards that field, when you start off with mathematics and electronics as your interest?
As you know, you have the curriculum with so many subjects and everything. And because mathematics came naturally to me, and that kind of naturally laid a good foundation for me with all the subjects that needed a good mathematical knowledge.
Right.
One such subject was signal processing.
I feel like all of our parents keep telling maths is the foundation for everything. We have to know good math.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I second that. So that's how it kind of, helped me, try to understand more and more about signal processing. I was very excited and enthusiastic about it. I didn't have to put too much effort in the exams around signal processing. And again, I saw it as a fun, just like I saw mathematics and be it analog signal processing or digital signal processing, all of these subjects that I had through the 8 semesters of engineering, I saw myself being drawn to it, right?
It came to very, very naturally.
It came to me naturally, and I understood that is something I can say is a passion to me, or I can see myself doing
Right.
in the long term. And correctly, I got an internship opportunity through BNMIT in a test and measurement company in an image processing field.
Right.
So that is also very close to, that's also another thread or
There's a vertical.
is a vertical of
Right.
digital signal processing, and enjoy doing that. And as a full-time employee in the same company that I got converted, again, I was working with digital signals, processing the digital signals, and it was about creating testing solutions for Bluetooth devices, wireline devices, LTE devices. And I did that for good decade. And I can say that I was able to do it for that long because I was passionate about it.
Right.
Otherwise, it's very difficult to sustain in the same industry, in the same company for that long.
For very long,
For
actually.
a very long time. And it's only in the last 1 year of my career in corporate, I switched to semiconductor, which was also a good fresh of change of air and breath of fresh air, you can say, because kind of that also needed a little bit of signal processing, but also it's again, electronics and communication a part of it. So yeah, that's my journey.
Funny you mentioned that you did your internship in image processing.
Yeah.
In the autonomous syllabus right now in EC, we have digital image processing as a subject for our 5th semester courses. So I feel like a lot of our students have the opportunity to pursue what they really like by exploring all of these different subjects. And that's exactly how Sushmitha here as well found out that she's really interested in signal processing, since you started with mathematics, as you told,
Yep.
and then you found the vertical to be interesting, and then the internship helped you. And right, that makes sense. So have you done your master's? Have you chosen any domain?
No, I did not do masters. If I had not landed up in the corporate job that I did, maybe I would have thought about masters.
Right.
But I didn't see it as an absolute necessary in my case. I feel like it was a very situational choice for me, right? Because I had in the company a lot of people who were MTech pass outs and some also BTech pass out, and I was working in the same field as my passion, like I said, right? And the industry also gave me an opportunity to work with the latest technology that was into the market, right? So I saw a little incentive in trying to, go back to masters and probably reading the same thing that I'm already, working.
Right.
Right. So
Something you could learn with experience. Why would you go back?
Exactly. I did explore that option if, I needed to do a correspondence, because it's clear I don't want to quit the job because it is something that I liked. I liked the company, I liked the people, I liked the job. I was passionate about it. So that I was clear. But when I looked into the correspondence option, I didn't see, that it is offering something more that I'm already learning in the job, right? So I didn't see it as a necessity for me, and that's why I did not decide to proceed with MTech. But there are a lot of other people in my company or in my experience that I have seen who come for, a couple of years of industry experience, and then they learn about, different verticals, different options and different things in the market, expand their scope, right? And then they try to figure out, okay, is this working for me? Right? The job that I'm doing, do I like, is it aligning with my core values or not? And then they quit trying to do either MBA or an MTech, right? So I guess it's a very situational and a very personal choice. And for me, where I was placed at, I didn't see it as a necessity.
Right. I feel like that clears the doubt for most of our students who are still worrying about whether they should pursue masters immediately after engineering or work for a while and pursue it. Depending on the situation, you may not even have to pursue it. It's like you have to look at your job requirements and where you want to do it, what do you want to learn, follow your passion as she has done, and you'll end up at the decision eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
I also would like to add to this point, right? When you're looking into doing masters, it should add to your resume, it should add to your pedigree, right? If your resume is already strong, then you should pursue a master which is going to kind of add on to it.
Like complement
it or add on to it, something more than what you already have, because that will provide you with better opportunities. But if you are just doing it for the sake of it, then it's not going to give you the fruits that you deserve, because masters is like good amount of effort for 2 years, a lot of money, and it's a lot of stress as well. So
a lot of money is also very important.
Exactly. So I think you will have to kind of take a back seat and then see what works for you the best, and not just do it because that's what people are doing. And that's
do your research, figure out exactly why you want to do it, when you want to do it, and then go ahead with it if you really need it.
Exactly. Absolutely. It's a good thing to have, not advocating against it, but I'm saying that don't get the pressure of it.
Right. I feel like that statement, don't get the pressure of it, will give a breath of fresh air for a lot of students as well. It's like, even if your family is like filled with people who've done masters, it depends on your life and your passion where you want to end up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So you mentioned digital image processing being your primary domain when you started off with the internship, and then you went to DSP as a whole for your work. What did you do? What was your career? What did the past 11 years look like?
Okay. So, like I said, when I was in 8th semester in BNMIT, I got an opportunity to do an internship in a Tier 1 test and measurement industry.
Okay.
So my internship was mostly around image processing, where I worked on doing different algorithms, using those edge detection algorithms and a lot of surrounding those algorithms on the image processing.
Right. For edge detection, it's like, I think most of us are aware of Tesla cars right now. It's just the way Teslas have autonomous driving. So even there, you would need to check if the car in front of you is a car, it could just be a wall. So a very simple example would be to check with the lines on the wall. It's pretty much checking if it has edges in the way a car would or not. So that's one of your domains, right?
That was what I majorly worked in during image processing internship. Then in the same company, I got converted to a full-time employee. So there I got opportunity to work initially as a test engineer for about 2-3 years.
I feel like that's a dream come true for most students. If you get into an internship that you're passionate about, for it to be converted into a full job and then, getting to continue the work because you have a flow and you have that vibe with the company itself.
Exactly.
Right.
So I was working in the test as a test engineer in signal processing algorithms. 2 years, 2-3 years after working as a test engineer, I got converted as a developer. And during my phase as a developer, I worked majorly with Bluetooth and WLAN devices. So I was into creating testing solutions for Bluetooth and WLAN devices to kind of, elaborate it. So you have these signals coming out of Bluetooth and WLAN devices, right? And they have to comply with the standard body that designs, what the signal should look like, what should be the power.
Right.
So there will be so many parameters, parameters that you need to validate your signal against it. So all the device manufacturers, Bluetooth and WLAN device manufacturers will need these testing solutions to ensure that their devices are compliant to the standard body. Right. So we were I was into kind of creating the testing solutions to test those devices, and that was major part of my career. About like another
years, what do you say?
Another 6-7 years,
Right.
Easily. And
you really have to be passionate about it to work in this domain as a whole for 6 years. And I'm pretty sure you enjoyed it throughout that.
Yes, absolutely. It was, I enjoyed a lot. There was a lot of learning, and it is not just professional learning, right? You get to meet a lot of people who are so much more knowledgeable, and you have so much more to imbibe from them. And I guess it was not just the professional growth, but I also had some personal growth as well, right? And it kind of shaped me into who I am today. And I'm just thankful for all of those experiences that I've had in the past. So
Sorry, I'll interrupt.
Absolutely.
That's an important factor to consider. Work culture, especially because when you find something you're passionate about, you would want to learn from people around you as well. And I feel like you landed the jackpot there by finding the right people and the profession.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
After doing that for close to 10 years, the last year in my career, last 1 year, I moved to semiconductors. Because now I've done it for 10 years, I wanted to kind of explore. While I got opportunities to explore different things, different standards in those 10 years, I wanted I got an opportunity to work in the semiconductor domain.
Right.
So here again, I was creating testing solutions to test semiconductor devices.
Okay.
That's what I did in the last 1 year before I, kind of decided to take a career break.
Okay. So that was your entire 11 years of working career.
Yeah.
And to put it in perspective, 11 years ago, we were like second or third grade children. At least we were in primary school for most of us. So you can imagine she's been passionate about it and she's been enjoying the work throughout. And it's a dream come true for most of us, to be honest. Okay. So I got curious when I was listening to your work experience, and you mentioned that you chose to take a break after this entire period. And you mentioned earlier that you were pursuing personal goals.
Yep.
So something to do with finances in that way you mentioned. What is that, and what do you want to explain about that?
Yes. So obviously, because the last 1 decade, my corporate job took a large portion of my time. I couldn't really concentrate on the personal goals that I want to do from a very long time. Right. I couldn't prioritize that for the lack of time.
Right. That can lead to a mental burnout as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Mental burnout, and it's very relatable.
Right.
And
for students, exactly. It's very easy.
Students separate. It's very necessary, and I think we should normalize taking career breaks and speaking about it as well.
Right.
And I feel I'm privileged that I got an opportunity to think about taking that 6 months to 8 months break. And in this time period, I wanted to kind of concentrate on all the personal goals that I thought that I never could make time to pursue. Right. It should also take significant amount of time. Like one such thing was the personal finance management. I wanted to be more hands-on in trying to manage my finances. And during this time, I took up some courses as well online. And eventually, I started managing my finances, and I got about started making about 15 to 20,000 of passive income just by sitting at home. So I was like, okay, this is good. Kind of gave me more confidence, and I thought I have potential and the knowledge to make it more. And by the end of that 6-8 months break, I started making close to 60K passive income, and now I just want to kind of get into this path. At least for now, I don't want to go back to corporate. While it is good and it has given me immense knowledge and a lot of things that I'm thankful for, currently I do see kind of slowing down my life and digging deep into digging deep into the personal finances and especially the passive income streams, which has so much potential, I would say.
Right. I feel like for most of us students, even 10% of her passive income per month will be enough. It's like we can go party, we can enjoy the spending and stuff. So putting that into perspective, the fact that you worked for 11 years and then, you mentioned about the fact that you're glad you got to take a break,
Yeah.
There are many people who get stuck in situations where they're probably not working a job that helps them and they're not able to take a break either. So it leads to a mental burnout. And
Exactly.
right. So that's congratulations to you. And so what would be some advices you would give for us students? We're obviously getting some spendable income from our own parents right now because we have to, even if it's like traveling expenses for instance. So what would you suggest we do for like starting off the savings or like, what could help us on a long term?
Okay, for actually, I wasn't really serious, honestly, when I started off working.
Ironically, the fact that you bought courses to study, it's like that was your first good investment.
That was exactly that is one of the good investments I still say to people, and I'm glad that you're able to relate to it. It was definitely a very good investment because I feel that knowledge is giving me a very is for life, and it's more like a survival skill, I would say, and it's so important. And I guess all students have to kind of think about it, especially people who have come to a stage where they're going to be earning in a couple of years. I would say, try to try to understand the finance management, know where to invest.
Right.
And the earlier that you save, the better returns are you going to get early, right? And I think that period is also that first few years when you start earning is also a very nice period for you to save more money, right? Because later on you will have many more commitments, so the saving will happen, but it's not as easy as it would.
It's not as simple.
And it's not as simple as it would have been in the beginning of your career, right? So I would say, please be serious about saving. Enjoy, do everything, but ensure that you are also saving significantly because it will definitely help you in long term in ways that you will not even know, at this moment.
This relates to the mental burnout topic because it's like you're looking out for your future self. You're looking 10 years into the line, you're like, okay, that person has to be in a better place so I can start working on it right now, even if it's like a very minimal amount of savings per day. So saving your mental health as well in a way, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. So you should be in a position where you can take a break when you want. And saving is very, very important. I can't stress it enough.
I don't really remember where I heard this, but somewhere one of the motivational speakers had mentioned that they still keep 30% of their annual income for knowledge. And they said the return on knowledge is unexpectedly high. It's like, so you buy courses, you study, you put yourself into opportunities even here at BNMIT. It'll all pay off eventually if you know how to make good use of it. So that I feel like that also would have come into effect here because your 11 years of work, that experience is not going to go anywhere. It's like that's knowledge.
Knowledge.
Yeah. So that's only going to like help you step up way higher when you get back to work. If you get back to work, that's depending.
Yeah, whenever I'm ready to.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree to you.
Right. So Sushmitha, I'm still trying to digest the fact that I worked for 11 years and throughout the period of accumulating wealth, you also started thinking about investments and stuff. What could you tell us students or where can we start off in the same?
Mm-hmm. Okay, to talk about my experience, I was not very financially strong in terms of the knowledge of where to put the money that I'm earning, right? So I did traditional investments like RDs, FDs, and gold.
Right.
Typical investments that you hear from your parents and your relatives. But back then I didn't really understand the power of kind of starting early. So I really urge the students now to kind of start investing right from your first paycheck, right? Because in the long run, when it kind of compounds, right, it is going to give you so much corpus for you to do, take decisions in your life that is going to be kind of changing, right? I understood like through my career that I was not really, very good financially. And when I took break is when I really, put my heart out to kind of understand, more into finances. What are different avenues I can invest? What are the better avenues that I can invest money in? And I kind of segregated into different buckets of finances that there are. Now there is, when you talk about FDs and RTs, that is like a debt investment and that is like a safer option. But there can be, more riskier options which are going to give you better returns, like say mutual funds, right? Which,
Right.
I think we will have to kind of look into it, understand, you do your research and then kind of invest, because now you're at an age where you can actually take more risk because you have about 30-40 years of life where you can work, right? Maybe a person who is 50-60 cannot do that because they'll be close to retirement. They want safe money. But when you are at the beginning of your career, kind of, explore, take the risks. While you also do safe investments, please also explore the other avenues that there are in the market. And now there are so many more courses available online, so much more information. And and then I think that information and knowledge will be easily available for you to kind of take that decision. And also the second thing is that, think about passive income streams, right?
Right.
Passive income stream can be like kind of two, I can kind of put it into two different buckets. One that doesn't need any kind of initial investment, right? If you want to teach a skill like dance, all you need to have is some students in a place, and then that's very minimal investment, and you can sell off your skill, right?
It's a side hustle.
It's a side hustle. Yeah, if it picks up, then good, right? And you're also going to make that extra income, right? Or, work your ass off for the first, work really well, right? For the initial part of your corporate job or wherever you're working, and accumulate that in initial corpus for you to, be able to invest so much that eventually you're going to make passive income. So when I'm telling about passive income, it is all the money that you're generating after all the investments that you need to do. So you need to understand what your goals are and then keep investing in that. And the additional money aside of those investments that you're making, which will beat the inflation, is your passive income. And you can do anything with it, basically, right? So I think you will have to think about those passive income streams. And even in finance, there are so many streams like that. Mutual funds, FDs, RDs, gold. These are like the things that I'm sure most of you have heard. But there is so much more to it. There is trading. Of course, it's very risky, and but it is something that I'm pursuing. And but if you're really good at it, if you get the right knowledge, if you are very dedicated, then you will, be successful in.
Right. Trading would be more of like a hands-on, it's more than passive. You're still doing a lot of effort per day, even that side.
If you're very good at it, you don't need to. It's just
Fair enough.
Just 30 minutes a day's job.
Okay. So, Sushmitha, what would one good investment advice that you would like to give us students is?
Okay. So the one good advice that I came across was from Tony Robbins. He is a financial influencer and a motivational speaker. He said that, even when you're sleeping, your money should be working for you. So that was like, that kind of, intrigued me so much. I got so curious. I didn't even know that there is a possibility of something like that. Okay, even when you're sleeping, the money should work for you. The money should be making money for you. And I guess that was the turning point of my, journey in the finance career, where I kind of started, exploring more about the finances and everything. And today I understand what he really meant by it. And I can say that I'm kind of in that position where I know my money is making money even when I'm, sitting or sleeping. Right. So I guess, that's a point you should be eventually kind of looking at. It is very difficult to do that in the initial part of your career, but eventually like 7 years or 10 years down the line, you should be able to do that. I guess, there's also this thing that the first crore you will take about 8 to 10 years. After that, you will take the second crore will be only in the next 6-7 years. And then, coming the next crore will be like, almost every year you will be making a crore.
It's like a snowball roll.
It's a snowball effect, right? It keep compounding. So I guess that is where you have to get it, and that's where you will feel comfortable, and then you will be kind of liberated to do anything that you want in life, and it's a very powerful position to be in as well. Yes, so that is something that I would like to tell all the students.
Fantastic, yes. I feel like just hearing the words passive income and then hearing the sentence, when you're sleeping, the money should be making money for you. That helps a lot because it gives you that in-depth understanding of the two words that we just heard about. So, Sushmitha, what was one memorable moment for you? You look back in time, you're like, oh, that is BNMIT for me.
Yeah. So I guess this was around 5th semester when we were given an opportunity to do project. This was out of syllabus and purely personal interest. And the project was to simulate a stethoscope using circuits, right? And I guess that was the first time where we kind of aside of the lab practicals, of course, we were, trying to do it ourselves. And, we got all the boards, and we went shopping for even like, smallest of resistors, capacitors, and circuits. We tried to kind of Google a lot of things, and kind of something that we built ourselves right from scratch. And we also our group won the first place that year. And I guess it's really memorable for me because I finally thought, okay, finally I can say I'm like an electronics engineer, right?
Hey.
I have done something from scratch and I was able to build it, and kind of gave me a boost of confidence also. And I guess when I look back, I see that as a very memorable moment.
Awesome. That must have been like a very proud feeling, It's like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're really owning up the domain that you've chosen. Yes. So you mentioned that this gave you a lot of, confidence, and you were really proud of having done it.
Yeah.
And you said that you chose to do it. It was like an optional thing. Whereas right now we have projects every semester. It's a part of our curriculum, but you chose to do it. And, how do you think that impacted your life back then? What did you do in your life?
Yeah, like I said, it definitely gave me a boost of confidence, and it kind of gave me an assurance that I'm on the right path towards learning all the concepts and all the subjects in BNMIT, right? So yeah, there is lab practicals, there is theory and everything, but when you do these real life situations and real life projects is when you kind of feel the confidence that you're getting there, you're learning something, and when you do something hands-on, that stays with you for long, right? So I guess experiential learning, and I guess that's where doing more projects and doing things practical is very important, because you will never forget that. And I think I can urge the students to do pick up simple at-home projects to do, and there are a lot of softwares available online, and you can pick up anything of your interest and kind of start with very simple projects. And to mention a few, like say DSP, right? If you're very interested in DSP, why can't you like kind of code for convolution of signals and SFTs and everything, and see how actually you're building those functions through coding. And these are the knowledge that will eventually help when you do your final year project or an internship, and when you are in the industry, because you already have that hands-on, and that will give you an edge compared to the others, right? Because you have that practical knowledge as well, and you have that confidence that now, I can do something like this as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. So this stethoscope project must have also been in the DSP domain as well for you, because you had to handle heart rate and signals.
Integrated circuits, and
Okay. And
it was more on circuits, right. So it was harder.
So it actually weighed off of your interest for a bit, and it taught you a lot more as well, in the project form.
Yeah. So those are mostly the subjects that we'd already learned in the previous semesters, right? And we were able to apply that, and that's what, kind of made me really happy. And we were able to get the output, but but when we simulated and we were able to hear everybody's heartbeat using that circuit.
Right.
It is a stethoscope, right? Simulating a stethoscope. So we were able to hear it with such clarity compared to the rest of the people in the room. I think that feeling is something that I kind of carry with me even now.
Right. It's that proud and happy feeling, where it's functioning. Yeah. That must have been fantastic. Now that makes me curious. What is one fun moment that you had at BNMIT?
Okay, the fun moment. So I guess, a lot of them. But in the top of my head is one thing in the fourth semester when we used to have internals, one subject a day, and we had to attend classes post internals. And if we had any difficult subject the next day, we would bunk the classes. And then because we had bunked so many to study post internals, so many classes post internals to study for the next day, we kind of got suspended in one of the subjects.
This is not advice. We shouldn't.
It's not an advice.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. And but eventually the teacher understood, and we had a learning, and they were gracious enough to kind of let us back in the classes and also help cover up for the classes that we missed. But from the next semester, they're like, okay, no bunking anymore. We are going to have 2 subjects a day. Finish it in 3 days.
Right. So if we need to blame someone, it's their batch for 2 subjects a day.
Absolutely. So from the next semester, it was like, okay, 2 subjects a day, morning and afternoon, and then you'll be done in 3 days. So attend your classes after that.
Right.
But then we're like, oh God, now what a situation we are in now when we again have a crunch of time to study, right? But actually turned out as a blessing in disguise, because of those couple of hours between 2 subjects that we had. We would all sit together in the college campus and kind of study, discuss, and help each other with whatever we learned. And that was so much more efficient than kind of individually learning at home. And I guess that was, to look back, it was quite a memorable moment and a fun moment for me.
You also get to build fond memories with your friends. It's like,
Yeah, absolutely.
our exam, but
Yes, I can say, hey, you helped me with those questions, and that's why I got decent marks in internals. So it was fun.
So on that note, I think that was a good talk.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Rushi, Ishwar sir, and Praveen sir for giving me the opportunity today and enabling today's podcast. I hope that today's podcast has helped the students and they will have something to take away.
I'm sure it has. And thank you for joining us. And thank you all for watching Alumni Insights BNMIT video podcast. Stay tuned for more, guys. Thank you.